Again. Hello.
Hello,
Welcome.
everyone.
Welcome.
Welcome and welcome back.
Yes. Yes. This is a follow-up.
It is a follow-up. So our
Yeah.
last podcast, which is only on
Yes.
theconsciousspirit.net,
Audio only.
Don't Push the River.
Yes.
And it was, my opinion, it was fabulous.
Fabulous. Fabulous. Yes.
And this is a follow-up to that.
Yeah.
And it is, when do we know when to throw in the towel, when to quit, when to walk away?
Right. Right.
Versus surrendering to
Yes.
spirit.
So in that other podcast, and Don't Push the River, we got into pushing that's about control and etc. And we realized after we were done, it's like, oh, there's sort of another piece to this. Or so we knew we were going to do today. We didn't really know what it was going to be about, actually.
We didn't until we start talking, and then it's like, oh,
yes,
perfect. It is. It really is the perfect follow-up to that.
It is. I agree.
It's the other side.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, especially if we're pushing the river.
Yes.
Sometimes we have to just stop.
Yes.
Turn around and walk away.
Yep.
Allow the door to close.
Yep.
Even if we're following the river, if we're in flow and we're following spirit's lead.
Yes.
There are still times.
Yep.
It's time to walk away, let the door close.
Yep.
Which allows other doors to open as we have, learned through life.
That's part of following spirit. Just because spirit puts you, opens this door for you and you walk through that door, that doesn't mean that's a lifelong thing. It could be a day. It could be a week. It could be a couple of years, whatever.
Right.
Spirit says, nope, it's time to veer over here now. It's time to go. And I know for myself, I've had jobs where after I left, it was like, wow, I stayed way too long. I know spirit was like poking at me, time to go, time to go, time to go. And I just got so stubborn. And
hindsight, right?
Oh, yes. And that's kind of pushed that rib. I just kept pushing the rib, like, nope, I'm whatever that connection was with that job, whatever that was, it felt like if I left, I'd be giving up, when that was the exact opposite of really what was happening. That was the opposite. Spirit was saying, you've learned everything you need to learn here. It's time to move on. Sometimes, oh my gosh, sometimes spirit is like we talked about this in yesterday's too, about sometimes we just need to change what we're doing at that same job. Like spirit's not actually telling you to quit.
Right.
Something has to change.
Something has to change.
Yes. And sometimes it's like I have been in this place many a times, especially in my spiritual journey, and I think I even did a Pam Ponders on it, or we did something on about keep climbing, just keep going. So the question was, how do we know if we're to keep climbing or to, like spirit asking us to quit?
What is that term? Cut bait and run.
Yes. yes. And how do we know?
Yeah.
How do we know the difference? How do we know? Because there's really kind of three things. Like, do we just, whoop, I'm out, see ya, looking for another job, whatever. Or it could be in relationships too. We see a lot of people way longer than the expiration date. Like there's an expiration date here and we just exceeded it. So the food poisoning is coming. Yes. So, or do we just do something different? Is there a combination? Like this could go a lot of ways.
Do we just let go? Do we surrender all control? And just
to spirit, not to a person.
To spirit. Yes. Surrender all control to spirit, to that power greater than ourselves.
Yes.
which our higher self is
Oh,
that power that is greater than ourselves,
yes, ma'am.
and follow that lead.
Yes. Yes.
But cutting bait and running, I don't know why that came. That came. I love that term though. Uh,
Yes. Yes.
I have this vision of, you're fishing and this big old shark comes, and if it takes the bait,
Uh-huh.
it's gonna take you.
Yes, yes.
You with it.
You're toast. Yes.
Um, so
Yeah.
what comes with that is one way to know is if you keep doing the same thing over and over and over, expecting a
Uh,
different result,
yes.
it's time to stop.
It's time to stop. Spirit
It's time to
saying
stop.
done.
It's it is possible that that's also means it's time to try something. It's time to try it a different way.
I'm going to add something right
Yeah.
here. Because yes, trying it. So what came up when you said it was in a relationship. That does not mean I'm going to change what I'm doing by sacrificing my happiness or my joy just to stay in this relationship or even in a job. So really it's anything like that.
Mm,
That's not
mm.
what that means.
No, it's not. Not.
It's
No,
not
no,
what that
no.
means.
No.
Always find your dignity and stand in your dignity. That's sometimes what most of the time, well, when spirit tells you to change up what you're doing, find your dignity, you stand in that dignity, and I promise you the answer comes.
Yes.
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 And it's not that ego that we get into that says I'm going to win no matter what. When you get there,
You took the words right out of my mouth. Literally. Literally. Yes.
yes, yeah,
Yeah.
that's no bueno.
No. And that's what happens, right? When we just keep doing the same thing and
Yep,
we push, well,
yep.
talk about pushing the river.
Woof. Yes, yeah,
Just doing it over and over and over
yes.
and pushing harder and harder and harder. And our ego is getting
Oof.
bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yes,
And finally, you just have to stop.
yes,
And you either walk away or you take stock in yourself.
yes,
Wait a minute. How can I change my perspective on this?
yes,
How can I change it and do it differently?
yes.
If you do it differently and you still don't get a different result,
Right.
pretty good odds it's time to just
Yes.
walk away. Cut bait and run. It's time.
Yes. And I will add to that what we talk about all the time is being thrown down the stairs. You've all heard us talk
Yep.
about when spirit throws us down the stairs. When it's your time to go and you're not listening, you're getting stubborn. You're like, nope, I'm staying for whatever reason. Sometimes there's this sort of, and this is from experience. I'm thinking of a specific job that I had and I stayed past my expiration date and spirit threw me down the stairs. Like, okay, you are not listening. Spirit was like, my higher self was like, I have done everything to show you this is not the place to be, and you're staying. So I got sick. I physically got so sick, I had to leave. That's what spirit did to me.
Yeah.
I was done learning my lessons. I needed to be gone. It was toxic. I didn't realize how toxic until later when I looked back. And spirit said, okay, I'm done. My higher self, and again, this is your higher self saying, you're done, time to move on. And there really is a feeling to that. There's also a feeling to keep climbing, keep swimming, keep going. For me, it shows up in like the heaviness of it or the lightness of it tells me, nope. Yeah. So I don't know. That's for me. How do you know, Mari-Lyn?
I am trying to tap into that. How do I know?
Yeah.
Okay. One of my biggest things is, how big is my ego?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
If my ego has just exploded and I cannot get out of it,
Yeah.
that is a very big clue for me. Okay, it's time for me to just stop.
Yes.
Because if I'm supposed to keep climbing, I recognize, ooh, my ego. Okay, I got to change something.
Yeah.
If I'm able to come down off my high horse,
Yes.
ooh, I do not like that term.
No. It's a good one, but it's not like
No, okay. If I wanted to fall back into a habit, I could get really triggered right now.
Mm-hmm.
I choose not to,
Mm-hmm.
because there's no reason to get triggered by that anymore.
Right.
But I almost did.
Yeah.
Crap.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I can recognize I got to get off my high horse,
Yeah.
and I gotta look at things differently.
So
That's my clue.
here's part of that high horse.
Yes.
What would they do without me? Well, these people are just not going to be able to do the job without me. If you start going there, that's your ego. I guarantee
Been there, done that,
yes,
verbatim.
I guarantee you that business is going to continue without you there. They were there before you got there. They're going to be there after.
And do you know what happened?
Huh.
I got sick.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I
Yep.
got sick,
Mm-hmm.
and I was actually let go
Ah, okay.
because I had been sick enough
Ah,
that it had just gotten to the point of,
yes.
you know, we're functioning without you already.
Right, right. And we're having to pay sick leave and whatever. Like, it's just time for you to go.
Wow. Okay. I didn't even remember that when you were talking about getting sick and having to leave your job. Um, it was that whole high horse thing. So,
Yes, ma'am. Yes, yes. And that's when we start putting other people and other things in front of ourselves, you know it's time to go. You know that's just not
mhm,
it,
true.
it's right. And how much work, here's another thing too. How much work are you putting in for the owner of that business? Now, I appreciate my husband is self-employed, always has been. He has employees. He has an amazing group right now that are just, they work hard. He pays them well. Like it's very reciprocal. But he has had people over the years who have thought they were doing and sorry, but I am the wife, and so we do talk about things. But that people just thought that they were so much way more important. So I've been on both sides of it, I guess is what I'm saying. They thought they were so much more important than they really were. And he had to let them go for whatever. And they were like screaming as they're leaving, "You're gonna go down without me. You're gonna," it was like, what are you even talking about? How humbling was that for me when I turned out to, at some point, not with my husband, but at another job, was that person that was,
Yeah.
they're going to fail without me. And they actually have probably done better without me. So there's some humble there, a little humble pie for me. Yeah.
Well, I can say now, this is okay. So this was, wow. Okay, this is over 36 years ago. So pushing 40 years ago
Yes.
when that happened to me. That company does not exist.
Okay. Well, yay. Or not, but
I don't know how long they existed
right,
after
right.
me, but
But it was
40 years later,
yes.
they don't exist. So,
But I'm sure it was you. I'm sure you started the decline of the. We all think that that's what's good, or we all want
my
that,
gosh.
right? We all want that to happen. We all want like that person who broke up with us. We want them to just be so unhappy and whatever, whatever. And it's like, that's just not the way it works. Sorry. It really Is it?
Okay, so I could actually it'd be all about me for a minute.
Okay.
I could actually turn that around. There are a lot of places that I have worked for in my life that do not exist anymore.
Yes.
So was it the fact that I left them, or was it the fact that I even worked there?
Okay, but and as funny as this is,
Yes,
let's bring it back to how much
yes,
happier were you when you left and you let go of that?
every time.
Yes. And that's what we're talking about here. As wonderful as this, we're making light of it, we're joking, and that's what
Yes,
is that's really a good place to be, when you can get to the point where you can start laughing and making fun of yourself and the job and whatever. That's a good place to be, when it's truly humor, when you're not doing it out of anger. That's a
right.
good place to be.
Yeah.
But we've all been in that place. I just, there's something about, I can feel so many people and you know what, there are a lot of jobs out there right now.
Yes, there are.
A lot of jobs, a lot of
A lot
people
of
are anyway, I'm not going to say why there's so many jobs, but there are a lot of jobs out there. And if you're unhappy, there are other places to go. It's just not worth staying in a job and being so unhappy. So, so that lands us at, so what is spirit telling us? Is spirit telling us to change what we're doing to make it a happy place? We talked about that in the other podcast,
right,
before this.
right.
Or is spirit saying it's time to cut bait? It's time to quit here. This is not good for your soul. This is not, you've learned everything you need to learn, and and will you learn more? Yes. So here's something that's coming up too, because I can hear people saying, well, isn't everything a lesson? Yes. If you can learn that lesson of not allowing it to be part of your ego, that stubbornness, that whatever, I'm going to keep going back.
Mm-hmm.
That's sort of how many times you need to learn that lesson. Like, sometimes you've learned that lesson, it's just all habit or ego at this point. So you're just like treading water here. You're just like
So
your wheels.
that would kind of be like, okay, I've learned the lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to pull it back.
Mm-hmm.
Learned it again.
Yes,
All right, I'm pulling it back
we can pull back habits quickly.
very quickly.
Yes.
And when we find ourselves doing that,
Yes.
what lesson are we bypassing?
Woof. Yes, because there is a bigger lesson that we're bypassing.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, there is.
Yes. And woof, I've been there. I've certainly been there.
Too, yeah.
Yes. So
Yeah.
I would say it's really about, of course, you know that Mari-Lyn and I, on one hand, are really big with meditation. On the other hand, are not very big with meditation. There's this kind. It's the type of meditation and the reason you're doing it. Sitting down every day in like the lotus position, or whatever it is, I cannot do. Do not. It's not happening for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's not my version. Guided meditations from Fred usually is the big will, and there are other guided meditations, but when you have a purpose to, I want an answer, I need, not just want, because no, not when you want an answer, that's not the time to do it. When you need to get clarity and get clarity, get straight on what's really going on here and what should I be doing.
I want to interject.
Yeah, please.
Wanting the answer, I'm going to say that can be an okay time to sit down with meditation. However, you're not going to get the answer to the question you want.
Yes, that's what I was thinking when I was saying want. I was thinking, this is the answer I want, and
No.
so I wasn't clear.
You might get clarity
Yes.
as to what you really need.
Yes.
But when we sit down with that want, we're not going to get what we want.
No, no, no.
I never say never, but I'm
You're
going
going to get what you need, though.
to get what you need.
Yes.
Yeah.
To get, and it's really about, there is sitting quietly, getting honest, being very honest with yourself, which is hard to do. We want to lie to ourselves. We want to lie and say, this is not my ego. I'm going to lie and say, no, but there's when you do the but this, but that, but the
That
stop.
whole justification thing. Yeah.
Yes. Pull back. Let's find what's really going on here. Let's get to the clarity of this. And spirit will bring it. Now, people might have different ways than guided meditation, and that's wonderful. However it is that you get that clarity, please do. Some people, they'll go out for a 5-mile run. Good God. That's horrific, but that's what, and clarity comes from that. Sometimes we need to get that stuck energy out. So sometimes it's exercise.
Exercise,
It is.
sports, music. Some people
Music.
really connect spiritually with music.
Yes.
Criminy,
Yes.
vacuuming for me.
Vacuuming. Yeah, I was going to say that, and I thought, no, I'll let her say it.
Yeah, vacuuming for me, not always,
Right.
but in those times where I don't want clarity,
Yeah.
that's all I can say, but it happens. We don't want it.
Yeah.
But in those moments when I just really don't want it, I start vacuuming and boom, it comes.
It comes. In the shower. Shower is another place. If you can allow yourself to just let go in that shower, that's a perfect spirit in our showers. I don't know what that's about, but that's a big one.
Well, they kind of got us cornered.
They do. We can't go anywhere.
It's like,
yes.
Yeah.
Also for me, drumming, I will sit and with my shamanic drum, and that brings clarity pretty quick. That can do it.
Playing piano can for me. Although I will say, playing piano for me can do well all of the things depending. It's a great bypass. It is a great way for me to just ignore, numb. Other times it is a wonderful time for clarity.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just a place to find that peace and neutral. And that is that brings real gratitude for me, because sometimes I don't know what I'm going to get when I sit down.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And to allow yourself to be open to whatever comes. Don't shut it down. Don't negate it. Listen to it. And sometimes it's hard. It's hard to be told or to have the, excuse me, the realization or the clarity on, you're being a stubborn ass. You're just, this is an old program. You've been doing, my favorite is when I hear, how many times are you going to do this? When has this ever worked for you? When you get stubborn like this and you're pushing the river, when you are trying to make that square peg fit in that round, when has this ever worked for you? Yes. And I get that sometimes, and I admit it, there are times when I'm like, no, it's not. No, it isn't. So if you are in a situation that is bringing you down, it's bringing you grief, it's bringing you depression, you are sort of vacillating between what do I do now, what's going on, spirit is talking, one way or the other, spirit is talking to you. Spirit is talking to you. You are either being asked to have resilience and keep going. You are being asked to throw in the towel, cut bait, get out, or you are being asked to change your perception of what's going on, change your energy of what's happening. And everyone has their own resource within them to get that answer. Yes, which brings me to, and this won't be a lot. People go to psychics for this all the time. That's what I can say. I can't tell you how many times, and we don't do regular readings anymore. We just don't. We find no, and I can't say we. Okay, so sometimes talking about, like, I will, you know, Nana, she does amazing, helps you get clarity on something.
Mm-hmm.
Marissa, oh boy, those you
Oh
have one
boy.
question thing, there's beautiful answers. But what none of us can do is tell you your future, and we cannot tell you what you're supposed to do. That is not up to us. It's not our job. Any psychic who tells you that, they're like full of, talk about full of yourself.
Full of ego, right?
Full of ego, full of ego. That would not be a psychic I would go to at all. One of the things that we do is we help you learn how to get your answers on your own. How do you get those? How is that possible? There is a way to know, you really do know. So it's not about, what is that? It's not, that's it. It's not learning how to do it. It's remembering how to do it. We all know how.
Oh, okay.
We need to remember how to speak to our higher self, how to receive that information, how to open to the truth, the honesty, and that clarity. So, anyway,
Yeah.
that as part of it, we can get our own information. We can get our own information. We all have the ability to do that. You don't have to go to a psychic for it. I guess someone needed to hear that. So, and I know I say that a lot, but it's true. Sometimes spirit brings me these little tidbits, and it's like, because there's that one person out there that needed to hear that. You don't need
Sometimes it takes saying someone needed to hear that for it
yes.
to register for the person that needs
Yes.
to hear it.
Yes, yes. Agreed. I'll take that. Yeah.
It's true. So what came at the end of what you were saying was that instinct that we have.
Yes. Yes.
That's our higher self.
Yep. 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 Yep.
And I don't know if we are taught, if it becomes habit. I don't know exactly why, but we ignore it.
We ignore it. Absolutely.
We ignore it. We don't trust our guts.
Nope.
And when we learn to stop and tune in,
yes,
the answer's there.
Because you are either led by spirit or led by your wound, is what comes for me right now. Do you want to be led by spirit, or do you want to be led by your wounding? Which of those would you like to do?
So my question that came was, if I'm listening to my gut,
Yep.
is that always spirit, or can that be wounding?
Oh, yeah, it could be both.
Can be both.
Yeah.
And how do we know?
Yes. That takes practice.
Mm-hmm.
It does. It takes practice to know the difference, to remember. I keep getting corrected. We all to remember there is a beautiful flow that happens when you're following spirit. A beautiful flow. It's not a there for me, there's a beautiful flow. It's light, it's airy, and you just do it. And when it's because of wounding, there's a feeling in my heart, like, or there's a immediate, you jump at that too. That I will do. Like, there's no thought. I just jump. It's like, oh,
Knee jerk.
Oh, yes, knee-jerk
That
reaction.
knee-jerk
Yes,
reaction.
I
Yeah.
do that a lot. I'm much better now, but that's
Mhm.
definitely,
Well, and that's what's coming is that that's our ego just jumps in and
yep,
takes over
yep.
in that instant thing. Um, I think I'm going to say exactly what you said
Mhm.
with the different verbiage of
Right.
vibration. Is it leaning in the vibration of love or leaning in
Yes.
the vibration of fear?
Here.
Um, for me, does it have the vibration of shame
Ooh,
or does it have the vibration of whew, acceptance?
okay.
I want to say love, but the vibration that comes to me is different than what I think most people think of as love. Um,
There's many different vibrations of love, by the way.
yes.
Lots of them. As
Uh,
those of you know who've been watching, there's the vibration of fear and the vibration of love, and all the emotions are within one of those two on one side or the other.
mhm.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, for me,
Yep.
shame or serenity.
Ooh, sure.
That's about the clearest way that I can say it. And it's so beautiful now to have that sensation of serenity
Sure.
so far outweigh that
Yeah.
vibration of shame. Well, with all the healing, that vibration doesn't come very often, but
Right.
that's how I used to know.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah. Absolutely.
yeah.
Another thing that comes to with that knee jerk reaction for me
Mhm.
is to, if I can stop myself, which I can do that a lot more now than at one time. I was all in that whole reaction thing. I was very reactive for a lot of my life,
Was your action physical action or verbal action?
both.
Okay, because mine usually was verbal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was both, depending on the situation, but it was just knee jerk, boom, go. And if I could stop and ask the why is it that you want to do this? Why is it that you feel just like you just want to jump right now? Just poof, go and jump on this. Very often it was because of, I'm going to say not even very often. I think it was always because of wounding. I was trying to fill a void. I was trying to maybe get away from something, some wounding to not hurt or what. But it's that connection, that wounding to wounding connection, or there was something that was I thought would help make that wound feel better or feel that was not all conscious, not at all, not in that
Mm-mm.
second boom.
No.
Your ego remembers your past. Your ego is very influenced by your fear, and it was about getting those needs met in the wrong way, just in the wrong way, just
Mhm.
yes, yes. So whew, so how do we know? How do we know? Is it
How do we know?
yes? How much pain are you in before you make that decision? I mean, seriously, because there's when it's
Mhm.
time to cut bait and go, there's real pain involved. Real pain.
Yes. If you are so far beyond your expiration date,
Yes, you're moldy. It's
it is
time.
so painful.
Yeah.
It's so painful.
Yes.
I think for me the hardest um decision time is when you're right there at the cusp.
Yes.
When you're right at that edge of all right, it's time to go. Oh, wait a minute.
Mhm.
Is it? Ew.
Yeah. Yes.
That's
Yes.
a really difficult place to
It
be.
is. And I would look at how much pain it's bringing you. Like, is your pain truthful or a fantasy?
Beautiful point.
Is it, or is it
Beautiful.
reality or fantasy? What is this pain? Is the, and when we say that, the fantasy is the wound. We have created a situation where we think we have to be here. Well, they would, lose everything without me. Oh, I couldn't possibly leave this person behind. Look at all this work I have. You're making all those excuses. That's a fantasy world that we've created for ourselves. That's not reality. The reality is, this is not the job for me or the relationship for me or whatever. I am in pain every day with this. This is not for my highest good. This is not dignified. I do not have worth here. I only think that I have worth here. I am making the excuse it's for someone else or whatever. If you're trying to please someone else, you're past your expiration date. But that's wounding though. But that is wounding. And we all have a lot of bit of that. Yes, we stay too long very often.
Yeah.
Yes. But
I'm struggling with wanting to go to the other side of that. And I'm wondering, is that a whole different topic?
well, go there. Let's see.
The fantasy of, it's time to leave. I have no worth here. It's time to leave. I'm not doing any good. It's time to leave. This
Okay,
job
that
is
could
too
be
hard.
all right. That could be wounding as well. That could be that sort of
I want to leave, but it's
down.
a bypass.
Right. Okay, so that is another, there's a lot of navigating to be done through life. So yes, and I've been there too. I'm a piece of crap. I don't mean anything, blah, blah, blah. Okay, if you go there, yes, that's definitely wounding. Like for me, that's a huge red flag. You're in your wounding. You are not useless or any of that. You're not a piece of crap.
That's really going into victimhood.
Oof.
And quitting to defeat yourself.
Yes. Well, and then if I defeat myself, no one else can defeat me too. For me, that was, if I quit first, you can't hurt me or fire me, whatever the situation is.
If I deface myself first, then what you say doesn't hurt.
Right. That's sheer wounding. That is trauma. That is old habit. That is all of those things. And we have all gone there. I know I have said before that I was an Olympic level victim. Like I could go
Olympic level.
You know what I mean? I was Olympic level. I could be the victim so quickly and so well. Like maybe even past that, I was a professional. I was a professional.
I think I could put myself in that.
Yes. And it's gross. It's so gross when you get there, especially when you've healed enough to know, oh my God, look where I am right now. When you get that two-sided thing going, where I want to be here because it's comfortable and it feels good. I know how to do this. And the other side that's saying, oh my God, this is gross. Just stop it. When I tell myself to stop it,
when your friend has to tell you to stop it.
A good friend, I might add. You have told me.
Well, I was going the other direction where.
Oh, I've done that for you as well.
You had to tell me.
Yeah.
Stop. But we're all human and we all go there, and learning how to recognize it and learning what to do about it.
And learning that you just got triggered.
Yeah.
Being triggered is huge. I did a whole Pam Ponders on the whole trigger thing. And talk about triggers all the time.
And okay, do I want to cut bait and run because I'm triggered?
Yes.
Or do I want to cut bait and run because, oh my God, there's something better for me out there?
Yes. Yeah, it's the why. Understanding your why
Yeah.
will tell you what to do.
Yeah.
And being honest about your why, and staying because you have, well, what would so and so do without me, or that's not a good reason. Yes, I can tell
Yeah.
that from your face.
So earlier you had said um you were talking about giving reasons and there was a but in there.
Hmm.
This and this happens, but, or so and so does this, but.
Oh yes, okay. When we do
So
the
if
what?
we're assessing what is reality and what is fantasy, and we'll just stick with leaving a job if
Mhm.
it's for our highest good. If we're going through everything and we have but,
Yes. Yes,
that's a red flag.
absolutely. There's a couple flags in there.
If you're going through and the word is and
Ooh, yes.
this and this and this, and this and this and this, and this and
Yes.
this and this, and this and
Yes.
this and this.
Yes.
Okay, that feels, nothing's ever 100%.
Right?
If the word is and, that feels like reality.
Yes.
More so if there's a whole bunch of buts in there.
Right. Yes. And and let's say you do quit, and you realize, you go, oh my gosh, I wasn't ready. Oh, that was a knee-jerk thing. Sometimes we quit from wounding because the wounding
Yes.
tells us to get the hell out.
Yes.
That's really this, all the same stuff applies. We need to get some help. We need to heal this wounding and find out the why. And spirit, in those cases, spirit will bring you something else. However, what's going to happen is spirit's going to bring you the same situation over and over and over until you heal that wound, until you get it through the thick noggin, until you decide, okay, oh my gosh, I'm refusing to learn this lesson. I'm refusing to learn this lesson. And the spirit will just keep bringing it to you. Just bring it over and over and over again. Yes. And because there's really no mistake. Spirit doesn't make mistakes. Spirit does not make mistakes. If it was the right thing for you, something new, better, improved is coming. If the mistake is a human word, but if we did sort of do that, spirit's going to bring it, and really it's not a mistake because they'll bring it to you in another, it'll look different, but it's the same lesson. Is to get a different angle of it, a different view of that same one. So, whoo, there's a
There is a lot. There is a lot.
lot to navigate, a lot to navigate.
Well, it's not easy being human.
No, it's not.
It really isn't.
No, there's
Mm.
nothing easy about it.
No,
There's nothing, and it's not meant to be. It is not meant to
no,
be.
no. Navigating through life, when our navigational systems are all mixed up,
Yes.
convoluted,
Yes.
um, stuck in wounding,
Mm-hmm.
stuck in, I almost want to say stuck in reverse,
Yes. Yes. Stuck in the mud.
stuck in the mud. It makes it really difficult to sort through the ego and our instinct, our intuition, even, and
Yes.
what's real, what's fantasy.
And what's coming in is to remember this life is not a solo project. We are not meant to do this alone.
No, we're not.
You may not have a bestie like I do. You might maybe find a therapist or a healer, someone that can help you sort of sort through some of this. And not all healers and not all therapists are created equal. We all know that. I have had good and bad in both of those areas. Well, all three of them, with friends too. Talking about it, understanding, we're just not meant to do this alone. It's not a solo project.
Nope.
Sometimes we need the help working through things, getting the clarity, finding out the why, understanding why we're doing something. Now, here's the thing. We don't go somewhere else to have them tell us what it is. That's not what this is about.
Not at all. Not at all.
If someone starts telling you what it is, there's an issue there. There's an issue.
It's about learning how to figure that out for yourself.
So having someone help you figure that out, understanding what's going on, where you've been, why this is coming up. I mean, all that kind of,
you
know, how we always say, oh, that lands.
Yep.
When you're speaking to someone about your traumas, about whatever you're going through, and you're trying to get clarity, and you keep getting oh, that lands. That's a good person to talk to.
Yeah. But if you're talking to somebody and you're going, no, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Tune in. I mean, are you denying? Do you not want to hear it? Or is it just simply not landing?
Yes.
Do you feel like they're trying to convince you of something?
Because
if they're trying to convince you.
No, go ahead.
If they're trying to convince you of something, that's not the right person for you.
No.
And it's okay to cut bait and run.
Yes.
Find someone else.
This is what we've talked about too, is sometimes the reason we don't go to a friend is because they just placate us. They get so
easy.
They hurt because you're hurt. And so they just go along with whatever you're saying. They're not challenging you. They're not bringing in a new perspective. They're not sort of saying, that doesn't land for me. Mari-Lyn and I do that all the time. The whole landing thing happens on both sides.
Yeah. Yeah.
On both sides. So it's not just about, because we all want that girlfriend to, I had a crappy day at the job today. Oh, my boss is such an ass. And the friend to go, oh, I know, he's a creep. And you want
sometimes that's the right thing.
Sometimes that is the right thing.
Sometimes it is so not helpful.
No, at all.
People are really on board with it takes a village to raise a child.
Right.
What they forget, or they don't talk about, they don't want to talk about, it takes a village to fucking grow old.
Yes.
To grow old.
I'm sorry, I just keep laughing because I said, well, what? Sometimes I'm the village idiot. And I need more.
We all take turns. We all take turns. I'm telling you.
Yes.
But we're not meant to do this alone. And it really does take a village to help us navigate through every freaking pathway and funky S-turn.
We are very complicated. We are very, very complicated. And we're spiritual. So you all know the saying, it's been out there forever, spiritual beings having a human experience. So not only is life confusing and there's a lot of moving parts, well, the spiritual part can be the same as well, and the two can clash.
Yes.
Yeah. Only in our human form do they clash. I mean, we choose to allow them to clash because spirit is always right. Spirit doesn't make mistakes. Right.
When our ego is, we're butting up against that. That's what happens.
Yes.
But when we can learn.
Remember. Yes.
When we can remember. To allow the smooth transition between spiritual and human and spiritual.
Yes. And also there's a part of being human, not taking it so damn personal. Spirit, I don't know how many times spirit will bring that to me. It's like you're taking this way too personal. You're taking it way too seriously. Yes, me too. And that's one thing that my higher self doesn't bring to my higher self tries to get me to laugh, but sometimes I need Fred to come in and do or say something stupid to get me laughing. There are times when Mari-Lyn and I are in it so deep and we're just like, and then all of a sudden Fred will do something and he'll speak through one of us and we just die laughing. And what that does is it raises the vibration. It brings it up to a softer place so we can see and get that clarity. I know, doesn't that feel yummy?
Yes. And I am being reminded
Mhm.
that those laughing outbursts that I get
Oh, yes.
is is to remind me of all of those years that I took it so seriously.
Oh, yes.
And sometimes
Mm,
sometimes through that laughter, I am actually releasing some of that old energy
yes.
of when I was so rigid
Yes.
and black and white and human,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
human to the nth degree
Yes.
is what comes.
I at one point I knew this I don't know if he was called a mortician or what, but he, was the one that got the dead bodies ready for service or whatever.
Yeah, I think that would be the
That would be a
mortician. I
mortician.
think so.
He had the most wicked sense of humor. Wicked. It was so dark and just and I remember at the time thinking how awful that was. Some of it was funny and I'd get mad at myself for laughing. But
I
then
understand that. Yeah.
but then later I went, wait a minute, that was a coping mechanism. Now that I know about energy, he was lightening up that energy so he could deal with what he had to deal with. He could deal with the death, he could deal with the family members and the friends who were so upset over this inevitable thing that happens to all of us. We all leave this body, Deva.
Hmm.
So laughter is so good for all of us. It is so good. It's so healthy. Such a healthy thing. Laughter.
Oh, it is.
When
It
it
seriously is the best medicine.
when it's honest, I'm getting that too. When it's honest, I'm not talking about making fun of someone.
Mm-hmm.
And that when you're making fun of someone, you're triggered. That's what there's a trigger. It might be envy, it might be jealousy, it might be, whatever it is that the reason that you're making fun of that person and laughing,
Hmm.
that's not the same thing that we're talking about.
Nervous laughter is also a trigger.
Yes. Yes.
Um, but you're talking about that honest,
Yes.
what is that? When our soul meets our heart, laughter.
Yes. Yes. Uh-huh.
That is pure joy right there.
Yes. And you actually feel lighter after. When you
Mhm.
laugh, when you make fun of someone and laugh, you don't feel lighter after at all.
No,
At
there's
all. You
a
feel worse.
heaviness.
Yes. It's
Yeah.
unkind, it's not loving, and that is in that realm of fear. We're talking about in the realm of love. We're doing that as love to ourselves to lighten up
Hmm.
the situation that we're in that we need to see in a lighter way. We need to get some clarity on and see it lighter. Yes.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh wee. This was a fun topic today.
It was. We went a little, a few different places, which
As
was
we do.
awesome. We do.
As we do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
Excuse me.
so when do we know? When do we know it's time to stop and
Mhm.
leave, cut bait and run?
Yes. I really did you want to finish that? Sorry. I jumped.
No, you can answer. Yeah.
For me, it's getting honest with myself as to the why. Why is it? Why is it that I'm staying here? Why is it that I even have thoughts of leaving? If you're having thought, first of all, if you're having thoughts of leaving, there's something going on. There's something going on. Is it wounding or is it spirit? You know, you need to do something, whatever.
Yep. And when you're going through that conversation,
Yes.
what are the feelings? The honest
Yes.
reality feelings
Yes.
that go along with what you're debating, what you're going over.
Yes.
And your body will tell you.
Yes.
You will know the answer if you're honest with yourself.
And as we talked about in the other, sometimes we can't leave our job financially. It's just, but in that spot too, when you have spirit's not telling you to leave, spirit's telling you to change something.
To change something.
Yes. So,
and normally that is something internal, something with the way we are perceiving. Put on a new pair of glasses.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Or something I used to always say, I need to take my eyeballs out and put them in one of those golf ball
Yes.
Get some clarity.
Try to see it. Try to see it from the outside looking in. If you were a friend and you came to you for advice, what would you say?
Good one.
What would you say?
Yeah.
Be honest with yourself. Be honest. And really, there's no, there's really no right or wrong. This is either a really big lesson or not. I mean, we're never off our path. We're never not where we're supposed to be.
Right.
Never, it's just not. Yes.
And choices are just choices.
Choices are just choices.
They are just choices.
Yes.
And we just try to make the best choice in our highest good.
Yep.
At any given time. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. All right. I think this is probably a good place to.
I think so. That was good. That felt good. Yeah. Yes. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope.
Yes, thank you.
I hope things resonated.
Yeah. Well, check out the one if you haven't listened to the first one. Please do that. Spirit.net or on your favorite podcast, wherever you
stream
like to listen. It is not a video, it's audio.
It is audio only.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's a good one.
It is a good one. And this one's up too, I think.
I think so too.
Thank you so much. You can reach us, wherever you're listening or watching from. All the details should be there. How to get a hold of us.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear from you. Yeah.
Look forward to it. We appreciate you all so very much.
We do.
And we'll see you next time.
All right.
Or you'll see us next time.
Yes, I know. Or hear us. Talk at you next time.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.